Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for ICP. I'm going to go all the way down to the micro counts, get right into this wave. But before I get into that, if you're new, have a 5-wave impulse to the upside off the low. Third came to the 1.618 extension of wave 1 off the 2. We then got a correction for wave 4 between the 23.6% and the 38.2% retracement of wave 3. And then we extended for our fifth up to the 2.382 extension. Right now we are in a 3-wave correction, correcting this entire 5-wave impulse to the upside. There's a few different ways this can play out. It's extra difficult because we start with 3 waves, so we can have many different patterns start with that. First pattern is we get a expanded flat up as high as the 1.236 and 382 before we'd expect a pivot. Then we come down, defend the A wave low, and move up and continuation on the bull market for a 3rd wave, where this becomes a larger 1-2. Secondly, we could get some sort of triangle. It goes against guidelines though, because we don't usually get triangles in wave 2s. We usually get them in wave 4s or as a B wave, in either a zigzag or a complex correction as an X wave. All right, so my alternative here is we are actually have a X wave in already. This was the alternative because of the fact that this wave here can be considered a B wave in a flat correction where we get a, let me zoom in here. In a flat correction where we get a W wave as a complex correction, then get our WXY, and this becomes a connecting wave, and we get an equal length wave to the downside immediately. And if this fails, I'll show you those pivots on the smaller time frame. This would become my alternative as soon as we fail. If we fall below this level and the 786, in which case I'd expect the Y to finish at around $8.66 before the bull market continues. So that's my alternative. If this pivot breaks and we break the 786, I'd be looking for a long entry around 866. Not financial advice, just what I'm considering doing. So right now, have this as my primary, expecting some sort of flat pattern here for our B wave to the upside before making our C wave to the downside. So challenging these highs, potentially break them or just come up shy. Hard to say right now until we get a move to the upside so we can target. So let's go down to the 15-minute. So over the weekend we had this move we were anticipating. Check my last video if you like. We were looking for this move up between the 1.236, 1.382. It almost looks like an impulse, but it measures better as a complex correction. This extension came, I believe, shy of the 100, but about the 618. Just looks like a complex correction. Yeah, just between the 618 and the 1-to-1. On our middle point, so it looks better as a corrective move. So right now, expecting this to be our A wave. We're making a flat as we expected for our B wave and looking for the C wave to the upside before that larger C wave to the downside. Making one large correction right now is what we're anticipating. So if this is the proper count, which is what my primary is, then we would expect this is an A, B, C, or WXY, targeting the 100% of wave A off the B, which is there at 1181, and between the 618 at 1249. So expecting a pivot at any time now. Now to keep this in play and not get that alternative I was suggesting to you, we want to defend this low. We don't want to break below that. And that low is at you have to check your own exchange. This is just on Binance. That low is at 1123.8. So if I'm getting into this trade, I already have a little bit, but my stop is going to go at that low, because if this is a flat, as in my primary, then we shouldn't break that low to stay bullish. We want to protect, worst case scenario is a expanded flat, in which case we get a higher high and a lower low. This kind of screws everybody, scoops liquidity from above, from everyone that was short, and then everyone that's long have a lot of stops there, scoop that liquidity, and then reverse. It kind of screws everybody in the market. But I would not want to hold past pretty much this order block here as support. If we did pass through it for like one candle and reject it hard, that's okay. But at that point, I'd be out of my trade and watching for a good trade entry rather than just buying into it. I'd want to see a nice little impulse on like below the 5-minute level before I'd enter again. Otherwise, I'd assume we're getting that alternative straight down to, I think it was 866 as our Y wave. Yeah, 866. That's the 1-to-1 extension on the larger time frame. So looking for this to make 5 waves to the upside for our C wave, anywhere in this area. Stop is at this low, not financial advice, just what I'm doing. And if we do break that low, I'll be paying close attention. But if we break this order block, I'm not interested again until we get down to 866. One more thing I'm just looking at is if this is not a diagonal and some sort of complex structure. We were talking about it on flare. I don't think this is happening, but it is there. So just to let you know, if we don't go straight up for 5 waves, this could also be a leading diagonal for an A wave. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I just don't want to confuse people and give them too many options, but there's quite a few options at this point. But most importantly, we're targeting the 1-to-1, and whenever this pivots, my target will change based on where this pivots from for where I take profit. Hopefully anytime right now, so we can attempt to make a new high above this 5 wave and go for this flat pattern. It's much more bullish in the future. All right, so I think I told you everything I'm doing here. Looking for this to pivot, protect this low. If we don't protect this low, it gets very sketchy, and I'd be out and watching what's happening. All right, guys, that's it for ICP. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.